This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. It's not easy finding holiday presents for geek friends when you're a cybernetic teenager. Thomas should know. In his first adventure trying to fit into his school's computer club, in some capacity other than being the computer's confidant, he's decided to get all of his human friends presents for the holidays and asked me what my favorite tools are, hoping, of course, for some good ideas. Oh, he was so earnest. How could I refuse? So today I'm going to share the tools that I use on a daily basis, sometimes dozens of times a day. I reached into my Scotty vest and number one, Scotty vest, pockets galore. My top item is a bunch of items. My clothes from Scotty vests. I have a gazillion shirts, pants, vests. These are extremely well-made clothes that are wired for everything. They have pockets galore. My travel vest has 23 pockets, and they're all engineered so from the outside, no one can tell that you're carrying your cell phone, MP3 player, earbuds, power pack, ebook reader, glasses, notebook, 4 pins, camera, SD card, full-size water bottle, paperback book, and keychain. And especially if you travel, Scotty vest is the best nerd wear ever. Number 2, the 1Password password manager. 1Password is a password manager that's designed from the ground up for security. It generates secure passwords when signing up for websites, and then it will autofill those passwords when you're visiting the site again later. And the passwords stay synchronized between your smartphone and your desktop. There are versions of 1Password for every device in existence. 1Password has a travel mode, which will automatically remove designated key rings from your mobile device if you would rather not have certain passwords on the phone when you're crossing a border. And it also has a family plan, which can be configured to give your loved ones access to your key ring if the worst happens, and your cape gets caught in a jet turbine while you're flying by waving to the passengers of the jet. Number 3, ScheduleOnce.com, which gives easy calendar scheduling. ScheduleOnce.com is a must for anyone who schedules a lot of meetings. It connects directly to your calendar, or to multiple online calendars, and you just give people a simple scheduling link. Then they can book themselves directly onto the calendar at the times that work for both of you. There's no more endless back and forth email. You just give them the scheduling link, they visit once, and you are done. I don't know anyone could possibly live without it. Number 4, Scanner Pro by Readdle. It's a document scanning program. It's an iPhone app that lets you take pictures of documents, correct for errors in perspective or distortion, and then turn them into black and white images or PDFs. And it can password protect the PDFs and has a very attractive interface for organizing your documents once they're scanned in. Scanner programs in general have revolutionized receipt handling, and Scanner Pro is one of the best I've tried, and I have tried a lot of them. Number 5, Signal Communicator. Signal provides secure end-to-end encrypted conversations that can be set to disappear after a designated amount of time. Now, I'm not saying that we're living in a creepy post-apocalyptic dystopian surveillance state, but just in case we are and don't know it, Signal gives you the kind of privacy that you used to have in the good old days in your living room, before Echo and Home and Alexa started broadcasting every word you say to central servers where they can be subpoenaed and used to lock you up without a trial or any other form of due process. Signal exists for all smartphones and desktops. Number 6, Yoink, your drag and drop savior. It's also a funny sounding name, Yoink. Oh, Yoink. Yoink, how I love thee. Yoink is an app for the Mac desktop computers and for iPads, and it helps you streamline your dragging and your dropping. When you start dragging something, a little drawer appears right near your mouse, and so you just drag the item onto the drawer, and then poof, it docks against the side of the screen. And then you go to your destination and you drag the item out of Yoink into the final destination. I probably use Yoink a million times a day. And when someone sends a mail attachment, just drag it to Yoink. Collect all of your attachments one by one, and then later you can go to your project folders and just drag each attachment to the folder where it belongs. Number 7, Affinity Photo. It's a Photoshop killing image editor. Affinity Photo is photo editing software that's available for Mac, Windows, and iPad. And it's as advanced as Photoshop, but it's written from the ground up using 21st century technology. It's much easier to use than Photoshop, though it does still have a learning curve. They provide hundreds of free tutorial videos online teaching you how to use it, and it can do sophisticated toning, blending, and raw file processing for a tiny fraction of the cost of Photoshop. Plus, it's a one-time purchase, so once you have it, they can't jack up the price and hold your business hostage. Whether I have a sophisticated or simple photo editing task, Affinity Photo is my go-to app. Number 8, SpiderOak Backup Software. SpiderOak One backup software, it's my main backup software. SpiderOak was designed from the ground up with what's called zero-knowledge encryption. And that means that the good folks at Spider Oak might be evil fascist dictators, and it won't matter, because your backup is encrypted before it ever leaves your computer in a way that makes it impossible for it to be decrypted by anyone but you. It runs in the background, and it just uploads files when you change them. Number 9, IA Writer, a distractionless markdown editor. IA Writer is a simply distraction-free editor for your favorite writer who uses the Mac OS. It lets you compose a text document using plain text, and you can include markdown formatting if you wish. Markdown is a way to notate headers and bold and italics and tables when you're typing text. In fact, you can check out my previous episode on how to use Markdown. IA Writer allows you to concentrate solely on your writing, and it has a preview mode that shows you what the Markdown will look like if you're choosing to use Markdown format. It runs on the Mac and on iOS, and it's fully iCloud compatible, so you can edit your files on Mac or on your iDevice, and changes just magically appear across devices. I do all of my editing using IA Writer. Number 10, Serial Box, books. Last but not least, Serial Box. Serial Box is an app, and it's a book, or rather, it's a lot of books. Groups of writers get together and they plot out a season's worth of novellas, all set in the same fictional universe. You purchase a season of a book, and what you get is monthly installments. And in an astonishingly wonderful twist, the app lets you read or listen to extremely well-produced and voice-acted audiobook versions of each book, but it's all synchronized, so you can switch back and forth between the text and the audio versions. And because the books are serialized novels, they have story arcs that span each chapter, but also arcs that span the entire book and the entire season. So far, I've purchased and read the entire first seasons of Tremontaine, and I've purchased the second season, but we're only halfway through. And I'm halfway through listening to season 2 of Bookburners. Serial Box is my platform for leisure reading. I use it to read at the gym. At the gym, I listen on audio. On public transportation, sometimes I listen, sometimes I read. It's a fantastic idea for both the listeners and the writers. Thomas looked up after I finished my list. "These will make really good gifts for my geek friends," he happily exclaimed. And of course, he's right. I can only humbly assume that my top 10 list of must-have tools is probably, well, astonishingly fitting for anyone who's just like me. And hopefully they'll be good enough to help Thomas span that gap between awkward adolescent cyborg and real live teenager. However, we do have a ways to go. Right now he's happily explaining yoink to his best friend, the toaster. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. If you want great keynote speeches on productivity, living an extraordinary life, or entrepreneurship, hire me. Find me at steverrobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.